Coming up on Cronkite News, the pipeline fire has grown to an area roughly the same size as more than 15,000 football fields. We'll have the latest on efforts to contain the wildfire.
Also, we're taking a look at how schools in rural areas are preparing to keep students safe.
And later on Break It Down, we discuss why people seem to be so fascinated by UFO sightings.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Julio Mora Rodriguez.
And I'm Jessica Herrera. Thank you for joining us. Strong winds and warm weather have been the driving factors in the spreading of wildfires near Flagstaff. These conditions, plus the sheer size of the fire, have added immense challenges for firefighters and air resources. Rachel Fortunato joins us with an update on the wildfires in northern Arizona.
We have two very large fires in the Flagstaff region. The Haywire fire has merged with the Double fire and is currently spread across over 4,000 acres. 6 miles north of Flagstaff, the Pipeline fire burns for over 20,000 acres. The fire is still active on all sides, and winds continue to move it northeast. Firefighters are working to stop the fire from entering nearby communities and are deflecting it along the San Francisco peaks. It has started to enter burn scars from the recent Tunnel fire and the Schultz fire, which burned in 2010. Areas already evacuated include Schultz, Pass Road, Arizona Snowball, Timberline, Crater Estates, and O'Leary. A number of other communities are ready to evacuate if needed. A public meeting is planned tonight in Flagstaff at 6 p.m. Two other phenomena still working for the fires are the Arizona dew points and wind speeds. The dew points in Flagstaff right now are about 26, which is pretty low looking at the rest of the state. And the winds in Flagstaff are sitting at 16, which is supposed to slow down tomorrow, which would help these fire efforts. All of your full forecast later in the show. At the Google text screen, I'm Rachel Fortunato.
As wildfires rage here in the Southwest, Navajo Nation President Jonathan Nez met with President Biden to discuss prevention. President Biden visited New Mexico recently to address the Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak fire. That fire has burned more than 300,000 acres. As a result of the meeting, Nez said he learned essential information to protect the forests on Navajo land. One of the measures he intends to implement is the thinning of forest, especially to get rid of dead trees.
After the shootings in Texas and New York, the issue of gun violence is once again receiving national attention. I looked at rural school districts to understand what they are doing to prevent another tragedy from happening. Summer school is in full swing at Buena High School in Sierra Vista. And the district is doing more than just teaching the basics. They're reviewing the ALICE program for school safety.
And ALICE is an acronym for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. And what ALICE is a program to teach staff and students how to deal with an active shooter.
Across the country, schools are trying to find ways to prevent gun violence. In Arizona, where school funding is low, this has proven difficult, especially in the rural districts.
Rural districts, by and large, do not have the capital funding to create meaningful security barriers, nor do most of them have the ability to hire resource officers. Even if I got the security grant from the state and I could hire a resource officer, I might not be able to find one.
School districts and associations in the past have made repeated overtures to public officials, but this has led to frustration.
We've asked, but we have a legislature that is often more focused on tax cuts than supporting not just rural schools, urban schools too.
And schools understand security means more than increased police presence and locked doors. School officials advise parents to check on their kids' mental health.
If there's a dramatic shift, maybe they're normally a very content, happy kid, and then all of a sudden, simple things are starting to really aggravate them more than they normally would.
Sierra Vista was able to fund programs because of local government assistance. The hope is students' biggest worry is finishing out the semester.
New guidelines have been released for agencies that interact with undocumented migrants. Under the new policy, ICE, as well as other departments within Homeland Security, will now consider military service when deciding whether to deport someone. According to officials, this has long been a factor in deportations, but the announcement made it official. Cases will be considered based on a totality of circumstances, including type of discharge and length of service in any military branch.
Summer is here, and as it gets hotter, it gets more dangerous for those crossing the border. Now, Border Patrol agents at 2 stations in southern Arizona will be equipped with heat relief kits. The Tucson sector chief says the new program is being tested at those locations because they have seen the highest numbers of migrant deaths. Last June, the remains of 43 people were found. The kits will include electrolyte packets, instant cold packs, sunscreen, and emergency blankets.
Monsoon season is on its way to Arizona, and local Tempe officials spoke this morning about what residents can do to keep themselves and others safe from the dangerous weather. Luke Chatham tells us what those protective measures look like.
Dramatic Flagstaff flooding from last year reminds us it's more important than ever to stay safe from the coming monsoon.
We would like the roads to be safe and clear.
Tempe officials have specific tips to deal with monsoon storms. The fire department says to check the weather before driving and to follow strict instructions if caught in storms.
Safest bet is to pull off the side of the road in a parking lot if one is available. If not, if you can pull to the far right side of the road, turn your car off, turn your lights off.
Heavy winds can damage trees and loose equipment. Residents should secure things like backyard furniture and inspect their trees.
Look for broken or dead branches or maybe any structural defects that might be there. And if you have, overextended branches or something that's touching your roof or your outbuildings, maybe you want to get those pruned back or perhaps removed.
Along with winds, monsoons bring flooding. Tempe provides 2 locations where residents can fill up sandbags.
I recommend you bring a helper, gloves, safety goggles, and what you'll do is you'll fill your sandbag half to 2/3 full, tie it off and use it. You want to have a little bit of give, so when you stack it, it forms nicely.
The sand and bags are free, but officials ask residents to only take as many as they think they may need. In Tempe, Luke Chatham, Cronkite News.
Tempe officials also asked residents to keep the gutters free of litter, and if storm drains need to be cleaned, to reach out to the city. Now we turn back to Rachel Fortunato in the Cronkite News Weather Center to tell us if those winds are letting up this week.
We're going to see some pretty clear skies in Arizona this week. We might get some light clouds on the east side of the state at about 7:30 on Thursday. Those are quickly going to go north, leaving us with a nice clear sky in Phoenix. Our high temperatures on this side of the country, we're going to be at about 107 in Phoenix. You can go up to Vegas and get a little cooler. But if you're really looking for some nice weather, you're going to want to head to California. It's going to be about 69 in San Diego and about 74 in Los Angeles. Looking at high temperatures just in the state, the west side is going to stay pretty high in those triple digits, also along the south. If you're going to want to get some cool weather in the state, you're going to want to go up to maybe Prescott at about 93. Window Rock's going to be over here at about 90. And if you're looking to visit the Grand Canyon, you're going to get some nice 88-degree weather. Our evening planner tonight, we're going to be at about 102 at 6 p.m. It's going to slowly go down until we get to our 93 at 10. If you're looking to go out anytime tonight, you might want to wait till about 8 or 9 when it's going to be in the high to mid-90s. Our 8-day forecast. Tomorrow's going to be 107. We're going to get some light clouds on Friday, getting us up to 110. Saturday's going to give us a little more cloud coverage with a 20% chance of rain, taking us to 101. Going to keep rising, staying pretty sunny the rest of the week at about 109 on Wednesday. Wherever you end up this weekend, make sure to stay safe, put on that sunscreen, and stay hydrated. From the Weather Center, I'm Rachel Fortunato.
Coconino National Forest isn't the only place experiencing some crazy weather conditions. Yellowstone National Park is on the opposite end of the weather spectrum. Unforeseen rainfall has resulted in record-setting floods at Yosemite. This has created several hazards, including rock slides and mudslides that make it unsafe to travel. The northern section was hit so hard that visitors had to be evacuated. As soon as it is safe for crews, they will assess the damage, but early reports tell us that numerous roads are washed out or are covered in mud and rocks. Multiple bridges have also reportedly been affected by the storm.
I'm Ian Sachs. Coming up after the break, all of your Cronkite sports report. During their trip to Washington, the Mercury met with members of the State Department and Congress about Brittany Griner's detention in Russia. We'll have Diana Taurasi's reaction next.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
wow,
feast,
and calories don't count.
Look back.
That is me.
Discover.
You know the whole story.
There's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station.
Sign in and start streaming today.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Ian Sachs. A Russian court has extended the pretrial detention of Brittany Griner for a second time. The Mercury star will remain in custody through at least July 2nd. Yesterday, several members of the Mercury met with officials from the U.S. State Department in Washington, D.C. to discuss Griner's case. The Mercury then met on Zoom with Congressman Greg Stanton from Phoenix and Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Houston, which is Griner's hometown. The players felt the meeting was a positive sign that everything is being done to bring Griner home.
There's a lot of things involved to getting her back home and safe, so it was just nice to hear from the people at the very top, knowing that they're working relentlessly, and we're here to do whatever we can to make sure we amplify and keep BG at the forefront of the things that we want to do.
On the court, the Mercury look to extend their win streak to 4 when they take on the Washington Mystics in D.C. tonight. When sports betting was legalized, the popularity exploded, and now the user demographic may be shifting. Cronkite News reporter Alex Amato tells us who is joining the fast-growing industry.
The number of sports bettors doubled in 2021, and the industry is expected to continue expanding with women fueling the growth.
We see more and more female customers almost every day. It seems to be growing in popularity with the female demographic.
Data shows women joined sportsbooks at a faster rate than men in 2021, with more than 4.6 million joining sportsbook betting apps according to data analysis company GWS. That's an 115% increase from 2020, almost double the growth rate of men in the same time period.
A lot of women enjoy sports just as much as men. It's just teaching new customers, and not just necessarily women, whether it be the older population as well. how to interact with the newer way of sports betting. You know, it's not the guy at the bar. You know, we have a very high-tech product here, and that takes some getting used to.
BetRivers, along with its associated New Jersey outlet Sugar House, showed so much success in attracting new female users to the extent that the company now has a higher proportion of women than men in its user base. But it was FanDuel who brought in more new female users in the U.S. than any other sportsbook gambling company in 2021.
I just think it's big for us to, like, we can actually step in a male-dominant role now that sports betting is everywhere.
Although male users still exceed female users by 250%, the rate at which female users are joining sportsbook betting apps goes to show that sports betting isn't just a man's game. In Phoenix, Alex Amato, Cronkite News.
Sports bettors in the Valley will have another spot to place their bets when Caesars Sportsbooks opens at Chase Field next Tuesday. As the world's best golfers gear up for the U.S. Open this weekend, all eyes turn to Phil Mickelson as he spoke to the media yesterday. In a 30-minute press conference, Lefty defended his choice to join the LIV Golf Tour despite the human rights record of the tour's Saudi Arabian backers. The move has drawn harsh criticism from several circles, including 9/11 survivor groups, fellow golfers such as Rory McIlroy, and most notably, the PGA, which has banned Mickelson and several others who joined LIV Golf.
I've worked hard to earn a lifetime membership. I've worked hard to give back to the PGA Tour and the game of golf throughout my 30-plus years of professional golf. And I've earned that lifetime membership, so I believe that it should be my choice.
And finally, a new report says the Suns are, quote, increasingly expected to hold sign and trade discussions with other teams about pending free agent DeAndre Ayton. The former first overall pick had a rocky end to the season after contract extension talks last year between Ayton and the Suns broke down before opening night. According to Bleacher Report's Jake Fisher, the teams that could be interested in Ayton include the Atlanta Hawks, Detroit Pistons, and Portland Trail Blazers. That's it for your Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Jessica.
A clarification on a story from earlier. Flooding is impacting Yellowstone National Park, not Yosemite. That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on Break It Down, Arizona has had a few unexplained UFO sightings over the years. We break down both the fascination and skepticism next.